learning that client can get and take away with them for the rest of their lives. So like our strategy is literally a 10, 20, 30, 40 year strategy, and we want to be there every step of the way alongside the client, and we're exactly the same. It's like if our client signs on with us but decides not to sign on with us for the following deal, we'll still stand by them.
Totally.
Because we're trying to build this culture and this community of, it's almost like a cult that we're trying to create here with this brand where people, they really embrace the brand, you know what I mean? And that's not just our staff, it's like our clients, it's our fans, and social media has really helped us. It really has. And, I looked through your social media briefly today, and what you've created as just a personal brand alone, it's amazing. The following that you have, there needs to be more women like you.
I agree.
Like
I
this,
definitely agree.
there's not enough of you, right? Because there are a lot of you, but there's not enough out there going, look, this is my story, right? I want to add value to anyone else that has gone through what I've gone through.
Totally.
So I'm exactly the same, right? Like I wish I had a czar 10 years ago. I never had a czar, right? I never had a czar. So you know what happened to me? I had to make the mistakes. I had to get robbed. I had to get ripped off. People stole from me. People made fun of me. It was a tough time, right? And Jade was with me the whole way. There was plenty of highs, but also a lot of lows, right? And I just wish I had we never really had social media like so strong back 10 years ago, right? So for me, like I was alone. I felt alone. But now, think about how many women, and even not just women, guys out there, right, who have gone through what you've gone through, that downward spiral, who are battling, who are struggling, right? And they want to come out of this hole. Right, back 10, 15 years ago, there's no one to kind of cling on to for help. Now, with the power of social media, right, they can message you.
Absolutely.
Right? I can message people who have gone through what I've gone through straight away and say, can you help me, please?
But it also works in a negative way as well, right? Like, because you've got people reaching out to the wrong people. And I think there was the most interesting article that I read about a week ago about this fake person that looked like a human and had been photoshopped and made she was a model, and she'd featured in I can't remember the brand, but I'll show you afterwards. And she was a completely fake person, but she was in all these branded shots wearing the jewelry and looking incredible. There were people, she had her own Instagram and she wasn't a real person, and she had millions and millions of followers and she didn't exist. And then,
what was it? Just like a 3D render?
It was a 3D render that had been beautifully polished with skin, and I will show you afterwards, because honestly changed it kind of fueled me even more to be, there are so many people out there who aren't qualified, who aren't real, who will post photos when they're laying in bed on a Sunday morning hungover, being like, hey guys, get to the gym this morning, and it's a photo that they took 4 days ago. No, like, in a world, I posted something a couple of days ago, and it's like, in a world where deceit is so relevant every single day, you have to go through, telling the truth is like a revolutionary act. Everyone's like, oh my God, she's so honest and she's so raw, but that's how more people should be.
Of course. That's your currency now. Being authentic and true, that's your currency. The more true and authentic you are, the higher your currency level.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of an epidemic coming with social media, and it's blown up so much in recent years, which I've said repeatedly, and it's great, but it's scary because who's real and who's not, and there's so many people getting caught out, and this is why women, and I guess everyone anyone in professional services, anyone doing anything of service out there, helping others, as you just need to be as genuine, as authentic as possible, because that trust level is going to go down very, very quickly. And who do you trust? Like, if you want to go out there and lose a few pounds and, get fit, there are so many people out there. Like, who do you go to? You live in Bondi. What do I do? Where do I go?
Hayley.
Trust and value.
See, Hayley.
Trust and value is the new inventory these days.
Absolutely, and I find it so amazing. Like me myself, like if I was thinking, put myself in the situation that I was in 6 7 years ago now, I would be one of those people buying all those ebooks, having no FaceTime with people. I'd be spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on trying to find a quick fix because these girls swear by it, and these girls say, this is the booty program that changed me, or that made, me have the booty that I've got. And for me, I know firsthand, working in or seeing the industry, that it's not true. And these girls don't follow their own programs.
It doesn't work for me, so yeah.
What do you mean?
Have you got any more spots available?
No, and I just find that, they'll constantly endorse it because they've got hundreds and thousands of followers. They'll constantly endorse it because people follow them currently because of the way that they look, not because of the value that they provide. And then so when people say, I want to look like her, and then she offers an ebook, instant dollars.
It is, and it's another thing that it brings me back to another thing. And I'm not going to sit here and discount anybody out there or discredit anyone, but I know of people that I personally know, and then they're promoting something on social media that I know that's not a reflection of their actual life.
Totally.
But I'm one of 400,000 or 500,000 followers that this person has. So
totally.
Where's the line drawn? It's scary.
Well, it comes down to marketing, really. And everyone has a different target audience. So what's right and what's wrong is, and I'm not defending anyone here or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, from an objective point of view, it's like everything that's being put out there is a form of marketing, right?
Yep.
And everyone has their own audiences. Like, for example, like, I have my own audience who resonate with me, and I really try and give them as much value as I can. And then there's that superficial audience that don't really care about that deep motivation and inspiration that I can give them. They're more so focused on, the abs and, like the biceps and it's all of that sort of thing. And I might not resonate with those guys, right? So I truly believe each audience needs to sort of decide who they listen to, and it really is up to them. Yeah. I see what you're saying, how, there's a lot of crap out there, pretty much, right? However, it's the law of attraction, and we always talk about it on this podcast. It's the law of attraction, and I'm sure the type of people that are getting in touch with you are the real type of people.
Totally, because they know what I stand for, and they know that, when I put things out on my story, I'll openly talk about somebody that's approached me for a 2-week crash diet. And that's not, I won't say to them, sure, I'll take you on, because as bad as it sounds, like, I don't do what I do for the money. I've got a job that looks after me for the money, that I do 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And for this, it's really about aligning people with the same values as me and having people on board with you, so that, giving someone a 2-week crash diet is great. But what are you doing after 2 weeks? Like, why are you wanting to lose the weight just for 2 weeks? Like, shouldn't it be a long-term implementation plan? And, everybody knows that losing weight over a shorter period of time is never going to stick, ever. At one point, you will always blow out. If you lose it, like, I lost it over 4.5 years. And that time I just set tiny little goals for myself. At first, it was like, okay, I'm going to lose 5 kilos. That's all I wanted to lose. And I said, if I lose 5 kilos, I'll be happy. And then 5 kilos came off, and then 10 kilos came off, and then it kind of just kept on going. And then I stopped weighing myself because I actually liked what I looked like in the mirror. But there are still times now that I look at myself in the mirror and see someone that's 60 kilos heavier. There are always times. Like, I'll go in and try something on and be like, I look fat. Yeah. And that sticks with you, and that'll stay with you. But it's just a reminder to acknowledge who you were and who you're not anymore, and just move forwards with it, and just kind of keep rolling through the paces.
Acknowledging your actual transformation, because I think going back into business, I think we forget, it could be in any aspect of your life, you forget where you actually came from and how far you've really come. And I say this to you all the time. You have good days and you have bad days, but don't ever forget how far you have come. Like, what about 5 years ago when you were all the way back there? And look at you now, and all the things that you've done along the way to be a better person, whatever it is, in business, in health, in wellness, in life. whatever that transformation might mean to you, but it's a lifestyle change, isn't it? It's a gradual change and it's a long-term journey. And I think that's why transformations are so rare and so difficult, because if it's not long-term, then it's probably not for you. And you need to, if it's not inbuilt in your purpose, then it's not going to really happen.
Yep.
I also think quickly on that, the fact that your, transformations, especially in the fitness industry, a transformation is like mine. 60 kilos, like it's a huge weight loss, and I think a lot of people won't acknowledge those small transformations, and I think that's what I encourage with all of my clients and all of my followers is acknowledge those small wins along the way. Like I started, like I said, setting myself tiny little goals along the way, and it's the same as in business or in health, in that acknowledge how far you've come, and it doesn't matter if you've gone from like broke to a billionaire.
Yep.
Or anorexic to healthy. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be small transformations, and I think neither one is more superior than the other, because I think a transformation in itself the definition has got lost with fitness, and people seeing so many changes and huge changes and drastic changes of people going from tiny to overweight to then healthy. And for me, it's about, acknowledging those smaller transformations as well, because, you might only be a 65 kilo woman that's healthy, but the changes that you've made, you might actually not change weight. Like in the past year, I know I've not changed weight, but I've become fitter, I've become faster, I've become stronger. And they're transformations within themselves. That are smaller, that aren't as visible, and I think they need to be acknowledged as well.
It's funny how you say celebrate the small wins, right? Because we've got our business in property. It spans over, you can buy an investment property for like $300,000, or you can do literally a $10 million, development further down the track. So the product offering and all in between, it's just this massive product offering, right? And people see a lot of the bigger guys with the portfolios, or even people look at my portfolio and they go, I want that, right? And I go, okay, well, you need to start with at least getting, maybe a $350,000 property.
Totally.
And they look at that as like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to
Don't
want to get to the end goal,
totally.
right? So they don't think about the process. But in actual fact, like getting that first $350,000 property is a massive deal, right? You need to celebrate that. Like my first property cost me $340,000, right? 10 years ago.
We celebrated that.
Yeah, it was such a big achievement. I had to work 3 jobs, you know, and I didn't sleep to save for the deposit. Like I really struggled, and it was a big achievement for me.
Totally.
So I had to. Those little wins along the way will lead up to something really, really big. So it's the same in fitness, really, right? Like you said, I just wanted to get down to 5 kilos. Right, and then you celebrated that.
Totally.
And you were like, wow, I want to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you going, those small wins, right?
And I think, had I have set myself a goal of losing 60 kilos, that would never have happened. But I think that, because I broke it down into small bite-sized chunks, it was easier to manage and easier to kind of say, okay, well, I just need to get to this and then I'm good. And then I keep going and then I'm good. I think, and that's, it's so much easier to swallow when you break it down into small bite-sized chunks.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Well, guys, that's going to wrap us up this week. We're scraping the barrel now for time, which is good. It's been a fantastic podcast. Thank you very much.
Hours,
yeah, definitely. And I think that conversation could go another 45, 2 hours, 3 hours. But,
what an inspiration.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
How do they find you? Tell them how do they find you?
On Instagram at Hayley Westoby, or on my website at hayleywestoby.com.
We'll do some promos on our stories tomorrow, so watch out for all of our stories, and we'll direct you to Hayley's website, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah,
the works.
Don't forget, guys, subscribe to the podcast as well. Grow your future with Luxland, I should say. If you've got any questions, email us, info@luxland.com.au, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.